I'm Wesley Hunt.
I'm Wrendon Hunt.
And
you're in the hunt. We were a little bit off timing there. Let's try that again. Go ahead.
I'm Wesley Hunt.
I'm Wrendon Hunt.
And you're in the hunt. That was your fault. It was your fault. You tried to slow play it, and I wasn't ready because we've never done it like that before.
Debatable.
No, you take responsibility for your behavior. Take responsibility for it.
What do you think I am, a Republican?
It's always somebody else's fault. It's always somebody else's fault.
Here we go.
It's the system. The system's rigged against us.
Oh gosh! Wow, you're gonna bring me there already.
Hey man,
huh?
I just came from a retreat, man. So I'm fired up.
Yeah.
I'm fired up.
How was it?
It was excellent.
Good.
It was excellent.
Good.
Looking forward to working with some really neat people from around the country, and we were really excited for this wave that we're going to see. That's going to just piggyback off of what we saw in Virginia, and I think we're going to have one heck of an election cycle in 2022.
I agree with you.
Yep.
One thing it's a great way to tee up what we're going to talk about today. Believe your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes in our lives and in our culture, we see things, but we don't believe them. But at some point, we have to step back and say, believe what you are seeing. Mm-hmm. And you talked about Virginia, okay? We're talking about a state that Joe Biden won by 10 points.
10 points. 10 points, Wrendon, 10 months ago. Not even a year.
10 points.
Hasn't even been a year yet. 11 months ago. Has not been a year yet.
And I'll be the first one to tell you that when all the polling was come out for Youngkin, you knew I kept on saying, I don't really believe this. I didn't believe my eyes. Mm-hmm. But what we're seeing right now, what's happening, the changes in this country, the discontent with what's happening in the current administration, believe your eyes.
People are sick of this, Wrendon.
Yeah.
And this is not partisan. This is, people are sick of this.
It's a 10-point flip.
It's a 10-point flip in Virginia.
Yeah.
And by the way, not just the Republican governor, a Republican lieutenant governor, who's a black woman, by the way, Marine.
Yeah.
A black woman, Marine immigrant from Jamaica, by the way.
And she should change her last name to Elections.
Because she is.
Win some elections.
Win some elections.
Word.
Word.
Word. Word.
And a Republican AG.
Well, once again, believe what you're seeing.
Yep.
You have somebody like Winsome Sears, who, if you look at her background, as black people in this country, we all should be overjoyed that she has been elected to the highest office that a female, let alone a black female, has ever held in the state of Virginia.
In the history of the state of Virginia.
And you're talking about also a state that has one-term limits. Mm-hmm. So then you have potentially somebody who is positioned to be the next governor of Virginia. Mm-hmm. And how many black female governors have there been in the United States in the history of this country?
I'm going to say 0.
And we're throwing stones at her as a community.
Don't get.
We're throwing stones at her as a community.
It always goes back to the point that we make often. The notion that black people are monolithic and we can't think for ourselves based on our experiences and backgrounds, instead of just celebrating black excellence on both sides of the aisle, is ridiculous. It's so hypocritical. And it just lights a fire into my behind to keep doing exactly what we're doing too, Wrendon. Because this is black excellence, and just because you may not agree with it politically doesn't make what she has accomplished less excellent. It's still amazing what she's been able to do in her life. And like I said, it should be front page news on everything.
Let me even
like BLM should have her on the cover of their website right now.
Let me go even further
to
what you just said.
But no.
It's not black excellence. It's American excellence.
It's American excellence. Oh, dude.
What is a better example of the American dream than an immigrant who serves in the Marine Corps, marries a Marine, before she goes into politics?
In all states, Virginia.
In Virginia.
We know the checkered past of Virginia.
And this is somebody, Wesley, once again, who, before she got into politics, you know what she was doing? She was running a homeless shelter.
I know. Amazing. And a member of the NRA, by the way.
Yes.
It's amazing. I want to meet her so bad.
Yes.
She's so interesting.
That's incredible. And yet instead, Jonathan Capehart wrote an article in the Washington Post today. And you want to talk about snatching defeat out of the jaws of victory. As Black Americans, I believe we should be very proud and happy that, I mean, look, even though the majority of Black Americans Democrat, that we're showing what is possible in a state like Virginia. We should be overjoyed at this, okay, by this. Okay. And yet and still, Jonathan Capehart writes this article where he's talking about the idea that the only reason that she was elected is because of white guilt. And that doesn't ameliorate the fact that which first of all, not only is it a ridiculous thing to say, but
it's just gone to.
How unbelievable is it to undermine the accomplishments of an accomplished Black woman by putting an asterisk by it, and you're the one who's supposed to be woke?
I'll tell you why.
Please tell me.
I'll tell you exactly why. Because this is how the woke left thinks. This is some woman that wrote this under, you sent this to us last week. It was a breaking news headline. This is when Youngkin won, and I'm assuming it's on Twitter, right?
Yes.
And whoever Helen Carter is a complete idiot. Here's what she says. This is completely unacceptable. If the blacks are going to vote for this racist, then maybe we shouldn't let them vote anymore. No. Sometimes you have to do what's good for them, even if they don't understand why. That's why, Wrendon. Because that's what they think about you. That's why.
Latte liberal much?
Hey. I mean, I feel like Ice Cube and NWA. This is what they think about you, right? It is.
Yeah.
That's what they think about you.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, not only is there that perception, there's the idea that you're helping me in some way by discriminating against me.
Yes.
By holding me down, by saying I have no thoughts, by saying if I don't think in a certain way that I'm not good enough, by saying I ain't black unless I do certain things.
White people telling you that you ain't black. White liberal people telling you that you ain't black unless you vote a certain way. Who are you to say that to any person of color? You've never walked a mile in our shoes.
No.
You know nothing about that.
No.
So this is what's happening in this country, okay? People are paying attention to this.
Yes.
This is not getting lost on people. This is the ultimate the ultimate backlash to being belittled, to constantly being undermined, to constantly taking your vote for granted just because of the way you look. This is what's happening.
Yes.
And people are paying attention. But they're paying attention because right now the left is becoming the party of oppression. They were becoming the party of big government, forcing you to do things every single day. You and I fought for the rights for us to be free, to make our own decisions for our family, for our health, for our education. And you have liberal Democrats saying, no, you can't do that. We're going to do it for you. We know what's best for you, even if you don't know what's best for yourself. Do you know how condescending and ridiculous that is?
Well, here's what's crazy. Liberal Democrats aren't only telling me and you that, they're telling their own party that, too.
Isn't it crazy? It's crazy.
They're telling their own party that. They're telling other Democrats in their party, Joe Biden runs an election to be a moderate voice of reason that speaks for all of the people in this country.
The uniter.
That is going to be a great unifier within this country.
Yes, the great unifier. We got to come together. I'm not going to have mean tweets.
That's what he runs.
I'm not gonna be disrespectful.
And what's the first thing he says when they pass the infrastructure bill?
Gas?
First thing he says, digging at Trump. It's infrastructure week. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
First thing he says.
Yes.
Right?
And by the way,
we're not going to be that party.
He's constantly thinking retroactively. If you look at every interview Joe Biden has, he talks about the past. He always talks about Trump and the last administration. In the last administration, look here, brother. Yeah. That's assault.
Oh,
that's assault, brother.
Oh, let me get my cup of coffee in the big time. Look here, brother. Look here.
I'm telling you, you've been the president for almost a year now.
But Wesley,
that dog won't hunt.
Believe your eyes.
See what I did?
Yeah, I see.
The dog won't hunt.
That dog won't hunt. I see what you did.
Yeah, I see what I did.
See?
Yeah.
Believe your eyes.
I know.
Because every time that this man is getting on camera and saying, this is what happened, and the thing that's always interesting about Joe Biden is he does the classic move of saying, I'm not going to blame the last administration, but the last administration did blah, 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 blah.
We're not stupid. We're not stupid.
It's like, come on, man.
Come on.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
It's got to the point now to where, again, this is not even like a liberal or a conservative issue. This guy's approval rating is at 38%.
Yeah,
38%. That's abysmally bad in 10 months, 9-10 months. Like, so to put that and like to put things in perspective, you don't get there just because Republicans don't like you.
No, you get there because a lot of people don't like you.
You get there because everybody doesn't.
A lot
like
of people
you.
don't like you.
Wrendon.
And I wanted to step back to Virginia for a second. Call me Joe Biden, man. I like to step back to what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
I don't want to progress the conversation forward. Let me step back to what we were talking about before. Yeah, think about this.
Build back better.
Build back better. Like, I was thinking about, it's this idea of believing your eyes, okay? And as somebody who, I did live in Virginia for a very small period of time, for about a year, okay? Lived in Arlington, Virginia. And I am by no stretch of the imagination an expert on Virginia politics in any way. But when I think about what is the first image that comes into my mind in terms of embarrassment in Virginia politics, I think of the current governor, Ralph Northam.
Yes.
And I think of him at his medical school party.
Yes.
In blackface.
That's so ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Next to a guy who's in a KKK mask. Right?
Democrat. This is a
Democrat.
Today. This is
Democrat.
Yes.
In the woke cinematic universe, this guy weasels out of that.
Yeah.
And then they elect a black female Jamaican immigrant.
Yeah.
As a lieutenant governor.
Republican. Let's get this right too, because that's important.
And somehow that's racially motivated in a negative way.
Unbelievable.
But he gets out of dressing in blackface. You know, I did look.
And I also can't I gotta say this too. Justin Trudeau.
Oh gosh.
Okay. This is a hand in glove for me. Okay. And you can't name one without the other. When your prime minister dresses up as blackface and gets a pass for it,
Wesley. And you and I are not cancel culture people.
We are not.
These aren't the rules we set. These are the rules you set. So do you know, and I looked this up and I was thinking about this earlier today because I was thinking about when Ralph Northam did that. And I was looking through some of the pictures and some of the information on him. In his yearbook at VMI, everybody had call signs of what people are called.
Uh-oh.
He had 2 of them.
Uh-oh.
Do you know what they were?
I'm not going to like this.
You're not going to like this at all. He had 2 call signs. One of them...
You heard that look in your eye. I'm not going to like this.
It's bad. One of the call signs was Goose.
Okay.
Goose is one of my favorite characters ever in a movie.
Yeah, man.
You know, rest in peace, Goose.
Yeah. Big ups to Goose.
Big ups to Goose. Big ups to Goose. Do you know what the second...
For our little espresso for Goose, man.
Do you know what the second name that he had in his yearbook was?
If I want to hear this.
Coon Man.
That's way worse than I thought. Really?
Coon Man. In his yearbook, it said, quotation marks, Goose, quotation marks, coon man. And then later on, this guy goes to medical school.
The movie Forrest Gump had not come out yet. Because remember when Forrest Gump mistakenly, you got to sweep the coons off the front porch?
Yes.
Remember that part?
That hadn't come out.
That hadn't come out yet. So you can't say it was a Forrest Gump reference.
This is pre-Forrest Gump. This is pre-Forrest. Top Gun had come out, but Forrest Gump had not.
Gotcha.
Okay?
There's no getting around this.
And then this is the same guy, follow on, who is in blackface years later in medical school.
God.
Okay? Now, once again, this is what in Harvard Business School.
Did you go to Harvard?
I did go to Harvard, and Glenn Youngkin did too.
I knew you liked
the
that
governor-elect of Virginia. He went to Harvard Business School
Harvard
as well.
Mafia comes out.
You know, this is something that we would call
smart Harvard mouth
at the best business school in the world. A bit of a pattern. Okay?
That's what you learned there?
A pattern.
That's what you learned?
Yes.
A pattern of behavior, if you will.
It's a pattern.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's not a one-off. It's not
no,
a one-off.
It's a pattern.
That's not an outlier.
And we have talked about this a million times. Be careful of your messenger. Okay? You want to be woke and you want to cancel people, you better make sure that your people are squeaky clean and they're not rolling around in blackface with people with Klan hoods next to them.
And what's his nickname?
Coon Man.
Yeah, sure.
His nickname.
Hey, man, I'll start calling you that.
his nickname.
It's a joke. I'm just kidding. God.
His nickname in college.
You're Coon Boy, and then
his nickname in college is so bad.
This is ridiculous.
That if we were white on this podcast, we would be canceled.
We absolutely be canceled. We absolutely be canceled.
That's how bad this guy's nickname was.
That's how bad it is. Wrendon.
And even when you think about, too, I love this idea, once again, believe what you see, believe the numbers.
Yeah.
There's another number I want to point out. 50. And I'm not talking about 50 Cent.
Okay. It's not in the club.
It's not in the club.
By the way, one of my all-time favorite
Dun,
songs.
dun, go, go, go.
Go. The national birthday song.
Yes.
Real quick, as an aside, I saw him on a morning show one time, and like somebody asked him about that song. He's like, I don't even want to talk about that song anymore. like when your song is a national birthday song, like go shorty, it's your birthday. And by the way, it's not birthday. It's birthday.
It's birthday.
Right? He hates it now. He's like, I don't want to hear. If I never hear that song again. And
he's a Houston resident.
Yes, from where? From New York. And why is that? Careful.
I think we know why.
Careful. When you're moving from a blue state to a red state, you're doing it for a reason.
Yep.
Careful.
Yep.
But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's okay. And we're talking about.
he said I'm 50 Cent. I don't want to be 25 cents.
He's like, I'm rich now. We got a state tax. I'm not trying to be 27.5 cent. He'll be 50 pesos after
I know.
We're not going to do that. But
after Biden's inflation, it's even worse.
Hey, 50 cent ain't what it used to be.
No, it's not.
50 is the number that I want to bring up. 50%. Believe what you see. Believe what you're hearing. 50% of Americans are against a COVID mandate. 50%. In January, when the administration is going to try to force everybody to have this mandate or to have this vaccine and go to work, there's a large portion of people where that's not going to fly.
Yeah.
Now, you're talking about somebody that has a very bad approval rating right now.
Yeah.
And you start to get to the point where you do the math. This is not getting better.
No.
This is not getting better.
This is the antithesis of building back better.
At the same time that we're talking about mandates and forcing people to do this when, oh, by the way, the people who want vaccines, they've opted in, they've gotten them. The people who don't want vaccines, you're not going to convince them. We're spending our time talking about this and analyzing this. And as I read the Wall Street Journal every day, there's these stories that keep on popping up. And I'm like, wow, this is really important stuff that we probably should be talking about. Like China developing a hypersonic missile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Not vaccine mandates.
Right? Like, I'm reading about these things, and there was an article in the Journal Today that was talking about in the deserts in China, they have mock-ups of U.S. naval ships.
Oh, yeah.
Aircraft carriers, Aegis-class destroyers.
They're building back better. China's building back better.
They're getting ready
to go
to war with us.
Yes.
Okay.
And what are we doing?
We're talking about mandates.
We're talking about practice, man.
Yeah.
We're sitting right here talking. Not a game.
Not the game.
Practice.
So
you talk about believing your eyes. We live here in Texas. I just came from Florida. I have not worn a mask outside of the airport for like 8 months. Mm-hmm. I don't have a mask. My campaign manager James is awesome, by the way. We go to the airport. He forgot he didn't even have a mask on him. We had to actually ask the IAH for extra masks, and they have them obviously, and they get in their hand. We have been living like this.
They're probably made in China, by the way.
Of course they are. well, yeah.
We don't have any American manufacturing. We're still trying to build back better.
Yeah, right. How you gonna build back better, LeBron? How you gonna build back better? And so this is our lives that we've been living, going to games, going to multiple football games, going to Aggie games, living. I've not worn a mask anywhere for months. Nobody here has asked me for a vaccine card. Nobody's asked me for any of this stuff. Okay? Not did you have COVID? Nothing. We have been living our lives here in Houston, Texas, like it was before COVID. But I just came from Florida, Wrendon. It's the same thing.
Yeah. But Wesley.
But so if we're seeing this, how in Australia and in DC and in Canada and in other parts around the world, why is the air different there than it is here?
Well, I challenge what you're saying, Wesley, because what you just said is racist.
Of course it is.
Okay?
Everything is.
The reason why it's racist, Wesley, is the NAACP,
okay,
they have told me, and they told everybody else who wants to play sports in Houston, that black people shouldn't support them in the sports because we're putting people at risk by not having stricter mask mandates. However, if Travis Scott has a concert,
not a single
with 50,000 people, it was so thick in there, and there were so many people in there that people got trampled to death and suffocated. That's how close people were. Okay? And let me tell you something else.
Man.
Travis Scott is to black America what Toby Keith is to white America.
That's pretty good.
You're not going to see, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the demographic of the crowd looked like at the Travis Scott concert.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it wasn't predominantly white.
Hey, fair assumption.
Okay?
Just going on a limb here.
But
yeah,
our leadership in the NAACP is telling us we should boycott Texas because black people monolithically believe that you're not doing enough for mask mandates. Because they're speaking on all of our behalf, which is a really interesting data point because I don't feel that way.
So I got a question for you.
And I got 50,000 people who were at Travis Scott's concert didn't seem to think that that was the biggest threat to them. And actually, they were right because it wasn't the biggest threat to them.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
People paid in their lives for that.
Obviously not. So I have a question for you. What does Kyrie Irving and Aaron Rodgers have in common? They're both unvaxxed. They're both professional athletes. They both have chosen not to get the vaccine. They both play on teams, and they both play in leagues where the majority of people actually are vaxxed. Why are we talking about herd immunity? Why are we still using these draconian rules for groups of people to just flat out oppress them because we said so? Now, I'm not saying what Aaron Rodgers did was right or wrong. I'm not saying that. I think we need to have a deeper conversation, okay, and what his sentiment really is. You can't make me do this stuff. Kyrie Irving has not played yet.
No.
Still hasn't played yet.
No.
Loves basketball. That's earns living. Won't get vaxxed. Hasn't played yet. Why? Because he's taking a stand saying, you can't make me do this stuff. And you can't use the guise and the ruse of global health to browbeat people and to have the federal government make them do stuff. That's the whole point of the American experiment, Wrendon.
So, Wesley,
we don't allow the federal government to implement tyranny on the population. That's the whole point of the experiment.
Wesley, I would like to make a return to the woke cinematic universe for a second. Let me ask you a question. If I play in professional sports and I decide that I don't want to stand for a song and I kneel for that song, and a group of people calls me a hero because I've decided that I stand for something and I don't want to do it, would you think that the same group of people would call you a hero if you decided that you didn't want to put something in your body that you were unsure of?
Whoa. Where's Nike, huh? Where's Nike now?
Where are the endorsements?
Yeah.
Where's the Netflix show?
Stand for something, even if it costs you everything.
Where's the Netflix show?
Yeah.
I think what Kyrie Irving is doing takes a lot of courage. But from the consistency of people that you support, I mean, golly, we're not talking about putting something foreign into your body with Colin Kaepernick. That's not what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about with Kyrie Irving. And he says, no, I don't want to do it. And he's a villain. And he's jeopardizing public safety.
But I feel like where Kyrie Irving is coming from is from a logical place of constitutional rights and freedom, though. It's actually rooted in something that I think makes a whole lot of sense. And it's consistent. And not because I tend to agree with him or don't agree with him. I get exactly where he's coming from.
I do too.
I can't agree with Colin Kaepernick at all. I don't agree. Yeah, but I look at Kyrie. I'm like,
Wesley,
this
isn't specifically about Colin Kaepernick or Kyrie Irving. This is about the systems that surround these people.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, because regardless if I agree with it or not,
where's the Netflix show?
These systems have decided to mute out voices that they don't agree with, and voices that they do agree with, they amplify them. So that's what these systems do. The NFL and NBA have made decisions. They're letting this happen. First of all, do you know why Aaron Rodgers played for 8 games this season? Do you know, like let's get really to the brass tacks of this. Do you know why Aaron Rodgers played for 8 games this season?
Because he's really good.
He's the freaking best quarterback in the league.
He's really good.
That's why Aaron Rodgers played for 8 games, okay? Yeah. If the NBA needed Kyrie Irving the way that the NFL needs Aaron Rodgers, he'd have been on that field. Remember, LeBron James wouldn't tell people whether or not he's vaccinated.
Remember that?
We still don't know if he's vaccinated.
I think he is officially.
Is he officially vaccinated now?
I think he is officially, yes.
But he wasn't even telling people.
Because he wasn't, Randy. He wasn't telling because he wasn't.
If LeBron James had done the same thing as Kyrie Irving,
he'd be playing.
He'd be on that court right now.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
He'd be on that court right now because the league needs him.
It goes back to the Colin Kaepernick argument, too. I think there's consistencies there. He didn't play in the NFL because people didn't want him to play in the NFL. The NFL actually, he wasn't that good.
Yeah.
The NFL didn't need him to play.
The league doesn't need Colin Kaepernick.
No.
The league needs Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, here we go.
And that's not a black or white thing.
That's a talent issue, Wrendon.
Yeah.
It's a talent issue.
Yeah. Because I'll do it the same way on the other end. You know what? What's the white mamba? What's his name? The guy who played for the Lakers?
Caruso.
Yeah.
With the headband.
Yeah.
Baller. Top five in the league.
Top 5 all time. Texas A&M.
Go. Bad. Say Caruso. You ready to say bad?
So I'll give you another example. Once again, it can go the other way. If Caruso, if he doesn't get a shot, I guarantee he's not getting on that court. Okay?
100%.
LeBron James, he doesn't get a shot, they're going to find a way to get LeBron James on that court.
I agree with you on that.
Once again,
KD's another one.
This is not this is actually not a race thing.
Yeah, it's a talent issue.
It's a talent and capability issue that comes up as well. And
we want to mask it. And the better you are, the more you can get away with.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's life as well.
Yeah.
That's just life. But the better you are as an athlete, the more you can get away with. I think we had a show where we talked about Michael Vick and Pac-Man Jones and these guys. These are superior, talented athletes, and you're right. The NFL teams needed these guys.
Yeah.
So the forgiveness is way more depending on how talented you are.
Yeah.
And by the way, Kyrie is very talented. Okay, but if this were Steph,
different story.
KD,
the league needs him. The league needs him. Different story.
If it were Giannis,
different story. But Wesley, herein lies once again my issue with wokeness more broadly. It's the lack of consistency in these arguments.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because either something is right or something is wrong. Either something is courageous or it's not. And the fact that nobody steps up to back Kyrie as he's doing this, because I will tell you this, if there were an outcry from people to get Kyrie on the court, probably get on the court.
Probably right.
But there's not. But why is that? Because he's somehow supporting an agenda that you don't agree with. Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle goes from being somebody that people on the right have never really heard of.
Yeah.
To all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, he's talking about freedom, and then all of a sudden the left is turned on him, right?
Yeah. Because what he's talking about is freedom, like you just said.
Yes.
He's not talking politics, he's talking about freedom. And for some reason, the paradigm has shifted. Freedom equals conservative now. It just does. Freedom equals conservative. Tyranny equals liberal. It's just what it is right now. And so when people are looking at Dave Chappelle and they're saying conservatives aren't canceling Dave Chappelle.
No.
Liberals are.
No.
Fascinating.
No.
Conservatives also aren't canceling liberal people.
No.
One side's doing that.
Yeah.
Very interesting times. One side is doing that. It is very clear.
Yeah. And one thing, and I know we're running short on time, but one thing that I would be remiss if I did not touch on at all is these payments of $450,000 to families that have been affected or who have been broken apart from illegal and legal immigration. This is yet another example of believe your eyes, Wesley. Our federal government is deeply considering using taxpayers' dollars, and in the view of the administration and our president, it doesn't matter whether you cross the border legally or illegally.
And he's blaming the last administration too, by the way.
So
It's just...
and once again, I feel like I'm always fighting as a conservative person to make sure that we're addressing the specific issues and not overarching sensitivity or empathy for this, okay? Because here's the thing. I think it's horrible if families are separated. I also think that we're a country and we need to protect our borders as well. So me saying that, oh my gosh, like we really need to reconsider a policy where we're going to pay people.
557 immigrants have died at the border this year.
Wow.
You know that?
I didn't know that.
557 immigrants have died at the border. If we had laws and we implemented them, see that wouldn't happen. You want to pay somebody $450,000, but yet your failed policies have also allowed 557 people to die.
You know, the funny thing is the number continued to pop up, and the number really resonated with me when there was a Gold Star parent who came on and was saying that that payment is larger than the one that he got when his
SGLI
son
pays out for us. Yeah.
died defending this country. Mm-hmm. Right?
It's insane.
And we're somehow trying to mask this in every way that it's a black or white type of situation where it is the right thing to do to pay exorbitant amounts of money. And then, oh, by the way, when other people, you're incentivizing other people to try to come over because if it doesn't work out the way that you want it to work out, maybe the government will pay you a lot of money.
Unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
And you're incentivizing people to break the law.
Yeah. Because you're saying that, well, it doesn't matter if they came over illegal or illegally or legally.
When you're getting paid.
Yes, it does matter.
Of course it matters.
Like, does that mean that I don't have empathy for the people that are in
course you
situation
do.
that no, but
That
like
matters.
It matters like what you're doing and what like it matters.
Yeah.
It matters.
So, awesome. Take us out, man.
Happy birthday to you.
Stop it. You know how I feel about this.
Happy birthday to you.
It's my birthday month.
It's my birthday month. So Wesley is about to turn 40
Yeah.
on Saturday.
man.
On Saturday. I'm 40.
I've always wanted to say
I'm
that.
40.
I've been wanting to say
I'm
that
a man.
for like 15 years. I mean, you know what my social media post is going to be.
I'm 40. I'm
a man.
I'm a man. Well, happy
Shout out
birthday.
to Mike Gundy. Yeah.
And happy birthday. And I tell you what, it's perhaps these decade year marks that make us realize two things. How far we've come and how far we have to go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to celebrate the rest of my birthday month. You know how I love my birthday.
Birthday month. It's my birthday month.
My birthday month. Hi.
Hey.
Cheers to me.
Yeah,
I'm so
cheers to me.
special.
It's my birthday month. Everybody else doesn't have a birthday. I'm the only special one. And remember that smiles are contagious. So make someone's day.
God bless you. Thank you.